G'day, Mahara here again. Gonna respond to another comment on the channel. There are so many, and I think I like to do more videos in response to comments. This comment was left a day ago on my channel on the video I did some time ago, maybe a year or so ago, Ghosted by BPD, Can You Be Idealized Again? So AJ, and it's not me, but a person also named AJ, writes in a comment, "Thank you for all your videos, AJ. They have been extremely therapeutic for me. My ex is now in another relationship, and it's been 8 to 9 months since our breakup after dating for 1 to 2 years. This is her second relationship in that period of time. She has blocked and unblocked me a couple of times, and on social media she has ghosted me months ago when I broke no contact. I've been beating myself up for doing that. I should have just left her alone. Since getting into her new relationship, she blocked me again on social media." And AJ in a comment continues, "I know it's unhealthy for me to pay attention to this stuff, but I'm still obsessing over it. Quite a bit, because I still love her, unfortunately. I hope someday I get to a place where I don't have to watch these videos anymore." Yes, that's always the hope, right? In hopes that they will give me closure. Well, and can I just say, AJ, that the closure comes for people in their own healing and recovery journeys. You can learn a lot. Hopefully my videos are helpful for many people, but the videos alone can't give you closure. So you need to, in tandem with watching videos, you need to also be working on that in your own healing recovery journey. And you said, "There's just so much, but I still cannot wrap my head around it for the life of me. Things that happened in the past and things she is still currently doing, unblocking and blocking me, even while in a new relationship. Hopefully I will get to the point where I don't even notice those things anymore. Or hopefully this time she blocked me permanently." Well, and again, AJ, what's really important about that is whether or not you get blocked permanently, you need to continue to work in your own healing and recovery process to understand more. There's something you need to know more about yourself or your past, or what is codependency here for you, from what you're saying, that will help you to block her. That's going to be a big piece of you moving forward that might have blocked you up until now. So it's not about waiting around to see if she will block or unblock you or block you again or not. That's really probably holding up your recovery and probably contributing to you thinking about her a lot more even after 8 to 9 months, which is not so uncommon. But it sounds like by not going no contact and wondering what she's doing, like, you're putting yourself through even more pain, unfortunately. And then the commenter AJ continues, "I guess my question for you would be is 9 months a long time to still be pining over someone? It seems like it is, especially when it's apparent she moved on a long time ago." Well, it's different for every person, but I would say to be pining, missing, thinking about, especially when you haven't gotten no contact, right, because that's difficult but so important, about an ex with BPD, 9 months is not so uncommon. So many people won't be in this, many people it isn't 9 months worth of pining and constantly thinking about them. But what really contributes to that too, among the fact that you were really hurt, you didn't get closure, etc., is that you keep you're getting blocked and unblocked, but you're not blocking her. So you need to take care of yourself, perhaps, I would suggest, by blocking her and seeing how that helps in your process. But many people, it takes 18 months to 2 years minimum to really heal and move on from these relationships and to find your own closure in your own healing and recovery process working with someone. So I wouldn't say that 9 months is anything, quote, abnormal, unquote, but obviously it's a long time to be feeling what you're feeling, and it's very painful. So don't judge yourself on that, though. Just maybe start to think about action steps you need to take along with your healing and recovery journey. Like I said, go no contact, block her, and then you will probably find, even though that's painful, it much, not easier, but that it will change over time and in work, in your healing. It will stop you from being as blocked as it sounds like you might be right now, with the focus on her. And then AJ the commenter continued, I think all of my friends and family thought that I would be over this by now. Well, and that's understandable, because if they haven't been through it, they won't understand it. And I can't tell you how common it is for me to hear this from not every single, but almost every single client I've ever worked with over 30 years, that, people are still needing to talk about this. There's no closure. There's cognitive dissonance, confusion, a whole lot of pain and more after being with somebody with BPD that ghosts you, especially, and then, what you've already alluded to, that people need to process this. People need to learn more about themselves, and I would suggest, I think that's what, you're in a process, but that's what you need to do, AJ, is look at your codependency and look at why. Because this isn't all about your ex with BPD. I mean, a lot of it is for you, but there's something else that's driving that, besides not having gotten no contact, that you need to know more about in a healing and recovery process. Inner child healing, family of origin work, etc. So I think that your friends and family don't really understand. They care, they mean the best for you, but that can sometimes, for people, in recovery and healing and with codependency, having a person with BPD as an ex, when things don't usually get resolved for people in 9 months alone. And then if you're still talking about it, they don't understand it. So don't be hard on yourself. Understand they care, and just understand that they don't understand. And you said, I put myself out there and gone on some dates and have been going to therapy now since our breakup, but I just can't get this person out of my head, and I can't seem to let go. Well, and I hear you, and that's a really difficult place to be, but please know you're not alone in that place, AJ. And also, I would say that going out on dates in the meantime, you might want to rethink that, because unless you really get to more healing of codependency and no contact with your BPDX, you're likely to meet another person with BPD, or likely to not be able to see the red flags and take the optimal care of yourself. So dating before you've even blocked the ex with BPD, dating when you're not over that, dating when you're constantly thinking about them, can be a recipe for more people than not to end up in yet another tumultuous, chaotic, and very painful relationship with someone else with BPD. And then your last sentence here, AJ, is, I still feel just as wounded as the day we broke up. Yeah, I'm so sorry to hear that, and I think that whoever you are working with, maybe you need to work with someone else. Maybe there's something about that process that isn't getting you to the depth of where you need to go, especially on the understanding, healing your codependency, and in the recovery from your ex with BPD. But what is it in your childhood, in your family of origin, that you need to know more about yourself so you can really heal? And you said, thanks for everything. You are a very kind spirit. Well, thank you for your very kind words, AJ. And so I would just say that, it's really important that you don't be hard on yourself and anyone else in this commenter's position, to not be hard on yourself, but to realize, and even if you are in a recovery journey or in therapy with someone, if you're not getting anywhere, you have to maybe sometimes think about working with someone else, because that might be part of the problem, and you could get more help maybe with someone else, and that might really help more. And another thing is that you definitely do, as so many people do, still, and need to go no contact. I can't emphasize enough for people who are exes of people with BPD that if there's any contact, and especially when they moved on and they blocked and unblocked you, or they've never blocked you, and the Hoover versus reverse, Hoovers in these circumstances, they really block recovery, and they're going to keep the BPD-X on your mind ad infinitum if you don't do something different, which I would advocate. First would be no contact. Secondly, are you talking actively about codependency in your recovery with whoever you're working with? And thirdly, if not, perhaps you need to find someone else who could help you in a different way, or just better help you, in your healing and recovery. Because it's not, for those who are exes of people with BPD, all of the heartache and all of the pain, and especially the longing and the ruminating, not all about that person. Yes, a lot of it. But then there's something else with the codependency that, I'm out here to help people with, that people need to learn and really fully understand, because there's inner child healing work necessary. There's a deeper healing, and you need to get to know yourself better, as I've talked about in other videos, in order to be able to really disconnect from the ruminating and the thinking about the ex with BPD, because all of it continues for people with codependency, as you've indicated here, AJ. I think your comment indicates, and what you've talked about, if you don't go no contact, you're not going to get them off your mind, whether you're blocked or unblocked, but back and forth. So this is very crucial for people. And there are a lot of people and clients I'm working with right now. There's a lot of people said it in live streams on the channel, a lot of comments on the channel here, where people just might think they're a variety of no contact, or they're sort of no contact, but they're not no contact. So that's another thing that I want to underscore, that people really need. And why do I keep saying that? Because when you're the ex of someone with BPD, and 9 months on, AJ, you're still in this pain with this focus, you're not focusing enough on yourself, it's difficult. But what is the key thing for people like you and others to know about this when you're the ex of someone with BPD, and why no contact is so very important, is because you cannot have the same perspective or the same healing trajectory in working with anyone before you go no contact as you will after you go no contact. And why do I say that? Because going no contact is one first large step that's very difficult, but it's the big no. It's the realization and making it real that this relationship is over, and that now you need to heal, recover, and you need to change your focus. And that's really hard for people who are the exes of BPD. I mean, there's no closure in these relationships. Some people have the Stockholm Syndrome type thing. There's the chemical soup of addiction. There's so many moving pieces to the difficulty. And then there's the codependency and the multi-layered levels of why people can't go no contact, why people are so tied in, ruminating and focused on an ex with BPD. And yes, often, just to reassure you and validate you, AJ, often after 9 months, often after a year or longer. So it's very important that people realize, and I'm out here to help anybody that resonates with me on this, no contact is so important, and sometimes people need help with that alone first. And secondly, because it's going to give you, after no contact, it's going to give you a widening perspective from which to do more of your own healing and recovery work. So I hope that was helpful to the commenter, and helpful to other people who are in this situation, maybe 9 months or even longer after, and not chosen no contact yet for yourself, maybe working with someone in a process of healing recovery, but you're being blocked by the very nature of not going no contact, and what else is all involved in what keeps your focus on the X with BPD more than on yourself. So I hope that's helpful. And if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please see the little circle there. Subscribe to the channel. And yeah, going to be doing many more live streams. You might want a notification to know when I'm going live. And as always, I'm out here to work with anyone. If you resonate with me, I have a high effective rate of success with helping people after these breakups, or being ghosted specifically also by somebody with BPD, and looking at your own codependency and the multi-layered recovery process that really is. So please hit that subscribe, check out other videos here, and I hope that you find the channel helpful, and take the very best care of yourself that you can now.